402-590-5800.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. 12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most. For all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Fierce Cheese Spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Fierce Cheese Spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fierce Cheese Spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Early break. What there? I was just waiting. And then the lady appeared, and I just tried to make a joke. I said, I thought everything was free today. And she said, if you take anything out of here, we will follow you home. I'm like, I was kidding. I'm not taking anything.
You're on the list, buddy.
Yeah.
You're on the list now.
I will follow you home.
I've had it happen a couple times or something.
People followed you.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome into Dump Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, you guys can join in 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. Like I said, we got the morning Pierson-El, former Husker, joining us. Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, Channel 961. All great ways to put a voice to the face. Good morning, Pierson-El. How's it going on a Tuesday night? Not quite as miserable as yesterday, but still pretty damn cold out there.
Speak for yourself. It's still cold. It's still cold. I don't want to go outside. I don't like it. But, you know, it was a good game last night and, you know, working through things.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to dive into that game. There was some things that surprised me, but I'll just get your quick synopsis. Obviously, we're going to talk about college football championship that happened last night. I do want to talk about Husker hoops as well, as we kind of got carried away with the NFL yesterday on a lot of it. But looking at that one, obviously Ohio State wins it 34-23. Notre Dame does make it a game a little bit at the end there, at one point even getting within one score. But Ohio State put themselves at such a nice cushion. It was a little bit too late, and they did a good enough job running the ball. Eat some clock. Give me your thoughts. Ohio State wins it.
You know, they almost fumbled it. You know, they almost did, but they started fast. They, you know, held the lead early and kind of linked on them and stalled out. And, you know, Notre Dame battled back and made it a game. You know, both, you know, good job on both sides to get there. You know, and that was our memorable, you know, national championship. Can't say the same. You know, the last time, you know, they were in the playoffs, or the last time they were in, you know, the college football playoffs, they got blown out. So
the last two times to Alabama, the last two times they made it all the way through was to Bama, and Bama blew them out of the water. One time with they did it with the two playoff formats as well. And you're right. I think both times they got completely blown out by Crimson Tide.
So, you know, it was well executed. They did enough when they needed a big play. You know, Ohio State capitalized. Notre Dame, you know, capitalized on some things as well. It's just, you know, you shot your best shot, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah, and it was almost enough though. Like I'm impressed. Like that game, it was worth watching it. It was a fun, exciting game. Like, tip my cap to Freeman. He's going to be a problem for anybody who's got the non-con team Notre Dame on their schedule. Like, that's a tough draw at this point in time. Freeman, for as long as he stays at Notre Dame, I think he's going to be one of the new faces of
Where's
college
he go?
football.
Where's he going to go? Like he's about to get.
He will. Like,
he's about to get every and anything he want at Notre Dame. Like
exactly. To me, who's like the face of college football when you think of coaches right now? Like, it's not Freeman yet. He's still got some time.
It's Kirby Smart.
It's Smart.
Yeah.
Not okay. Is there a chance it's Ryan Day if he goes back and
No.
does it again next year?
No.
All right. We won't go down that same rabbit hole again. I will say this, though. Looking at this game, what a game from Leonard. Riley Leonard, the quarterback.
He answered the bell.
I was impressed. Like that was a game where he did enough. No intercept, no turnovers, a couple of touchdowns as well. I think he was pretty efficient. Yeah, 22 for 31, 255 yards, an average of 8 yards on a reception. Solid. The problem was, though, it's like Ohio State just a little bit better in about every category, because Will Howard, he does more with less, right? 17 for 21, really accurate. Only 231 yards, which is less than Notre Dame, but they got a lot more on the ground to the tune of 214 compared to Notre Dame's just 53 on the ground. And like I said, Will Howard, 2 touchdowns as well. No interceptions. To me, that was the difference in the game, was Ohio State could run, and Notre Dame, despite Leonard having a good day,
they made a few more plays than Ohio. I mean, than Notre Dame. That's it. Yeah. That's what it came down to. The missed field goal hurt, you know, and Ohio State didn't let you get another opportunity to get on the field late in the game, because had that had happened, you know, it might have been a little bit different. That they were right there. They were well deserving. It's not like, you know, what we seen this past weekend with some of these top NFL teams that turn the ball over, and you know, the dominant team was supposed to win and didn't. They took care of the ball. It's just you needed, you know, 1 to 3 more plays to kind of get you over the hump, and that just didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen this year. But I'll say it again. Like, I think it's definitely a chance. Like, they'll get more of these opportunities as long as Freeman's the head coach over there, because they got something brewing. And if you're, you know, especially today with NIL and the transfer portal, you know, Notre Dame's going to have the money. They got the brand.
They're going to be able to pick up key pieces. Now you don't have to rebuild and a full Dion, but you can add some pieces to kind of equip yourself better for times like this.
Yeah, and he's one of those coaches right now. It's probably one of the more liked coaches that players are going to see what he did over there at Notre Dame. And, probably the same way some players are looking at Arizona State and Dillingham. Like, man, they're turning it around over there and they're doing it quick. Like, let me go ahead and get in there and so I can be part of that turnaround because there's already proof it's happening in year one. Year two, it's a lot easier to go ahead and sell those guys. I'll ask you this. With the college football playoffs, it's all said and done now. Felt like the best team, right? Like there's no question Ohio State was the best team in college football this year.
You can say, yeah, you can say that.
I mean, who would rival them? They blew everybody. Anybody you would really think outside of Michigan, like they blew everybody out of the water.
I mean, I know they play like I think everybody outside of Georgia. I would say Georgia would be the only team that I would like. I would like to see that with a healthy Carson Beck. We seen
with a healthy Carson Beck though. I'm still picking Ohio State.
I don't know if they caught them in season. I don't know if they caught them second round of the playoffs. It's debatable. It's going to be one of those games where it comes to like when C.J. Stroud was there, they missed a field goal and lost. So I mean they've been that type of caliber team for quite some time. You just couldn't get over the hump. Texas is still up there as much as people want to say. I understand, that they went through them and beat them and everything like that. I think Texas just fizzled out. It wasn't.
It's good. Like I think we both agreed on that yesterday. Like that's not a bad loss.
No,
that's a good team. Sam Leavitt was tearing it up for ASU this year, and that's a great head coach. Another one of those coaches that's going to be well liked and is going to do well in the transfer portal.
So I mean, top dog, I would go Ohio State and Georgia. And then then that's the first tier, and then kind of everybody else. So you got like another 4 teams in the second tier. But in a league of their own, I say Ohio State and Georgia.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like I think it's hard pressed to like grab anybody else. I still think Ohio State beats Georgia. Like I'm going to go ahead and crown them as the best team in college football this year. I think it worked out the way it should have. Like it's fun to have the underdogs, but in reality, you do want the best teams making it to the end because those are going to be your the most fun games to watch. It's one where I just think this was a really statement year for Ohio State, not only to win it. You also got to think, and I wondered about this, was Ohio State running out of gas? Because, you go play game after game after game. You don't get the bye. You got the conference game. On top of that, you're playing Notre Dame, who didn't have a conference game. So they got that rest. And then they also got the bye. So they got another game of rest. And Ohio State had just been playing nonstop since that conference game. Did it look like Ohio State was just one game away from the wheels finally falling off? Because there was back-to-back those second halves were close.
No, I wouldn't say the wheels falling off. I think they just started going into a conservative play calling with just trying to get out of there with the win. Early on in the first half, they were outside of the first drive. They were pretty much stopping Notre Dame. So, they kind of took their foot off the pedal a little bit and kind of chill. And you see things, kind of heat up towards middle of the third quarter. And then by that time, they weren't catching necessarily their rhythm, but they were chilling. So I don't think they lost anything or whatnot. I think it was them doing it to their own self, so just trying to run out the clock and get out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I definitely did see that, and like it was to the tune where they were having some success running the ball, eating up clock, but it also was allowing Notre Dame to get back in there because the offense wasn't racking up a bunch of points the same way it was in that first half. Looking at the college football playoffs, though, I think Ohio State was right to win it. It does feel like, though, they got every team in here right. Like, now that it's all said and done, how good do you feel about the selection of these 12 teams?
I still think they did it right. I mean, as further and further we moved away, you stop hearing about those first games. Like, because,
the SEC got shut up right away through the bowl games and that first round of playoffs.
And they're the big crybaby of things and whatnot. You got somebody's foot put in your mouth. So you can't speak on things, as far as this year. But, with the other teams, I thought, a weather played in a big part of, maybe some other victories, but which is fine. It is what it is. You play football for a reason. It gets cold in Tennessee. It gets cold in Dallas. So, it's not anything unexpected. But no, I mean, outside of the first game, the second and third round, outside of maybe Ohio State blowing out Oregon, that all the other games were competitive. Texas and AZ was competitive. Boise and was somewhat competitive early on. Boise and Penn State, and then Georgia and Notre Dame. So I mean, you had a good callus and nucleus of things. I don't think you put any 3-loss teams in there because you played in a conference more or whatever. I think the best of the best, they have a formula to pick, who moves on and who doesn't. And, that's what happens. It was a good college football playoff week in and week out. It was good matchups. It was good athletes that people wanted to see and make things happen. And, it got to the last man standing.
Yeah, and that last man standing was Ohio State. Real quick from the text line, good correction from Mississippi Mud Dog. Yeah, Ohio State, I said they got 2 extra games in their way out to play. They weren't in the conference championship game this year.
Yeah, they rested.
It feels weird. Yeah, I'm like so used to Ohio State. That was Oregon and Penn State was the team this year, not Ohio State. They don't get it. But nonetheless, if you're in Notre Dame, that is still a nice advantage, though. Because the other thing I think we did learn, and, Coach Rocky Russo was talking about this, Ohio State fan of the Lincoln Stars, but he's right. Those conference championship games, I don't know if they really matter anymore.
Yeah, they do.
It's one of they matter to get your bye, but it's kind of not the end all be all. And if you're Notre Dame, it is an advantage that you don't have to worry about that game as long as your record's good enough. You can drop a game, or you can be Oregon and have to go play in it, win or lose it. It's not.
Yeah, but that comes into context when, let's say, everybody is roughly. I mean, the SEC had 4 or 5 teams roughly with the same, winning percentage. Now, 1 or 2 games in either direction, 2 of those teams are in. So if you're Notre Dame and, let's just say you lose two times, but, somebody, you got 2 other conferences with their second team that lost in a conference championship as their second loss. You know what I mean? You not having a conference championship might be able to hurt you under certain circumstances. Now, what Notre Dame is going to do is make sure, you better hope your strength of schedule, one, is at least decent, because if you don't, you can be on the back end of things, and that might not be too well.
But we did learn, if you lose to NIU, as long as you clean house, that's enough. It's not going to sink you anymore.
I mean, it was still one loss. It's not like it was Alabama. You lost 3 times. You lost to a Vanderbilt. You lost to an OU. The teams that you lost to were unranked.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, NIU is NIU, but any given Saturday or Sunday, anybody can lose, and it was one game. So one game shouldn't tarnish your whole season if you go on a 7-8 game winning streak.
No, you're absolutely right. And they did go ahead and prove it, but it is one of those scenarios where it's it opens it up a little bit more. And Notre Dame proved they were right to be in there because they got to the championship game. But it does with this thing expanding. I almost wonder if 8's the better number. 12.
You better. If you're Notre Dame, you got to follow up another winning season like this. You can't afford to. I honestly, I don't think no team can really afford 2 losses. You seen Clemson get in there, but I mean they won their championship. So for reasons like that, I think it's still important to have the conference championship. Now they weren't 1 through 4 because they had 3 losses, which is fine and dandy, but you're guaranteed a spot because you won a conference, which I think is right.
Yeah, I got no problems with that. I do think this thing it's pretty good. I will say year 1 with the college football playoffs is actually a pretty solid product. The only thing is, where are you at with those buys and those conference bids being in there, and also having those bowl games be in that second round. So you do get the situation where Ohio State, they play at home and then they go to play Oregon, but Oregon doesn't get that same home advantage to start off their playoff run.
Who cares? You playing in a Big Six playoff game to go to a national championship. Who cares about the home field advantage? It was on a neutral site. both teams got to travel and whatnot. It's an even playing field. Like, stop looking for excuses. Show up and play better.
All right, so we don't need to change that. I'm just throwing ideas out here. Good morning, Pierson-El. Anything you would change then with this format? Because you look at it, Arizona State proved it that they were actually right to get a bye because I thought they looked good against Texas. Like, they're really close to pulling that off. And then, the same thing with Boise State. It kind of got away from it. It was 31-14 the final score, but it was close for a long time until Penn State at the end there had some explosive plays to put it away.
I think they hit, the major heads of things of making sure good quality teams. You can say what you want to say about SMU. SMU should have been the ACC championships up until the last second. They were dominating, and for whatever reason, you have a national championship caliber organization show you what they've done. So I don't think there's not one place to where you can pick apart. The surprising part, honestly, you didn't see many kids, opt out, which I thought you might have competing for a national championship. Like you didn't see that across anywhere. All stars were involved and whatnot, which I think is good, and that shows you, when you're chasing something like a national championship, kids put everything else, to the side to focus on that. But no, I mean, the travel was fine. You got bowl games. There was media coverage and everything like that. I think they have a solid way of doing things. I don't think it needs to go down to fewer teams because, again, teams will be out and you'll be hearing people complain. I think 12 is a good number. It's a mini March Madness for football, and that's what people want to see.
That's a good point on that because you never even thought about that, right? Say we go back to last year when we got 4 teams. You'd imagine it's going to be like Ohio State. Well, I don't know how it goes. For the sake of it,
Ohio State wouldn't have made
yeah,
it.
they wouldn't be in there. But just for like the sake of it, we'll just grab 4 of the teams that finished on the AP poll, so I don't have to do the research. But say you just Ohio State, Notre Dame, Oregon, Texas. Like those are the 4 teams. You would probably see, like if you're a Penn State fan, you're probably not going to watch the most exciting football because you have opt-outs. If you're Georgia, you're going to see your Georgia players opt out. Arizona State opt out. Boise State. You would see a lot of these really good teams without the final bang. Like you wouldn't get to see that last showing of what's the final product when they actually get to go compete for a chance to play a national championship. So that is a good point as to why 12 is actually not bad because you get to see the stars of football, and the stars are always what's going to sell it. You shrink the pool. That's a lot of opt-outs you're going to get because those bowl games just aren't, both sides are right. You don't want to get hurt if it's not worth your time.
How many times outside of this year, how many times have we seen, maybe some of those guys not playing in those big 4 playoff games, people opt out and whatnot.
This is the first year I didn't hear that story at all. The only weird one I heard was Marshall.
You heard some people transferring, but
that was Marshall.
That's not, we opting out. And, some people, I remember Jalen Smith, the whole thing with him at Notre Dame, he lost millions playing in not a national championship game. He was a top 5 linebacker about to be picked. And I think slid down to like the 5th round because of a leg injury, because of nerve damage and everything like that. And so I think this year you've seen a lot more competitiveness. I understand, some games got blown out. That's going to happen. At some point in time, you can't completely get away with it, but from the second round on, people were excited of seeing these matchups. You want to see, these great colleges, take a swing at things. You don't want to just see, the Clemsons and Alabamas going at it and seeing what's up, or whoever, the number 1 team playing a Pac-12 team, and it's a blowout and everything like that. They were evenly matched. And the dominant team won. It was a well-rounded playoff.
Yeah, it's year 1. I think huge success. It was awesome. I haven't actually looked at all the numbers yet on what the viewership was. Viewership. There we go. Tongue twister there. I couldn't say it. I'm sure the viewership was fantastic throughout it all, just based on the conversations and based on the interest I've been seeing throughout the entire thing. And yeah, it's just another way to also get those unique matchups. Like it's fun to go see Texas play Arizona State, or you get a situation like, man, Penn State and Boise State. What does that look like? 2 teams that are kind of culturally similar, but really don't got a whole lot of history with each other. So you do get those unique matchups as well. And it's awesome because, again, I always use that Arizona State game. That's a pound your chest kind of statement from Arizona State despite the loss. Like you
can build off of that. That's gonna attract, some of these transfer portal kids. You can go in there and be like, hey, we won a conference championship. We were in the playoffs. We were right then and there. We got a young quarterback that can sling it. We just need a few more pieces. And instead of maybe going to a Tennessee or to a Ole Miss or to a Michigan and everything, like you might go to Arizona where it's a party school. They're gonna give you some money. You're gonna have a nice time. Y'all putting people in the league for the past couple of years. Y'all have had quality guys go in there, and will probably be picked favorite to win your conference again. Yeah, I'll take that. First round of playoffs, if we don't have a bye, somebody got to come out here more than likely. If not, the second round of playoffs, we in a dome, so it don't matter about weather. So it's definitely exciting. They definitely made a lot of good money for them and good stuff out there for kids to kind of see things and poke around and see what's up out in the desert.
Yeah, is Sam Levitt back or is he wrapping up his college career?
I think he's back. He's back for one more year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that'd be fun. I'll ask you this
because he was either a true freshman or a redshirt freshman last year, so he has some years.
Oh yeah, he's plenty young yet. Okay,
yeah.
Man, he looked like a veteran out there.
Michigan State first year and then here second year, so he has to at least be a redshirt sophomore, no more than that.
Okay, that makes sense. For some reason, I must be mixing him up. I thought he had a previous stop for Michigan State. I didn't realize it's been that early in his career. Just final two things I want to ask you before we send it to break here. Looking at this college football playoff bracket, give me a team that's least likely to be back and the team that's most likely to be back.
It depends on who the quarterback is with Oregon. This is 2 years in a row where they've gotten a veteran quarterback and they've gotten far with it. So depends on what's their route or what's their analogy with that. Who's not coming back?
Gentry's gone. That's tough for Boise State.
I mean that's too easy though.
It's too easy.
That's a given. I'm trying to think out of the power. Indiana. I don't think so.
Is that one too easy? I don't know. No? You could buy in. Kirk's in a year two
because all the kids that he brought there and everything like that are leaving. And I know you might reload back, same thing or whatnot. But now people are going to be watching. I don't know what their schedule exactly looks like, but I don't got them going back.
That's a good one. I will say I'd be curious. I don't see it happening, but I think Georgia keeps slipping. I think next year Georgia slips a little bit more. And a little bit more. And we get to a point where it's a good program, but it's no longer an area where you're like, yeah, they're going to make it to the college football playoff bracket every year. Or where are you at with that in Georgia? Or is that just not happening?
Georgia, I don't think so. Georgia is the new Alabama. Kids are going to go to Georgia to go to the league. Kirby's going to get whoever he wants, honestly. You know what I'm saying? You're in a elite conference, top two conference. You got, the number one or number two team in the conference or whatnot. People's always going to be talking about you or whatnot. It's just, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Look at at their backup quarterback. It wasn't his fault that they lost. He did what he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? The offensive line didn't get a push and they didn't establish their run game. So I don't think they're falling off. I don't think that they'll slip.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably one of the craziest. Well, all these other teams. Either too obvious or
you saying they might slip. Okay, what other team in the SEC is either better or on the same level as them?
It just feels like the SEC is going to be this kind of like hosh posh of teams rising and falling. And I know you're saying the torch has been passed to Georgia, but it felt like it got passed and it's like not firmly grasped. I don't know if you it's just not.
Alabama didn't have down years.
Not really. No.
You said. So are you saying they have a down year right now?
Yeah, it's a down year.
Their starting quarterback broke his elbow.
Yeah, it's still, to me, it was they had
okay, take any other starting quarterback from any other college program and let's see how they do in the playoffs.
It's just Bama though. But that's like, if you're gonna be Bama, you advance, you find a way to beat Notre Dame. Like, because Nick Saban in Alabama, I mean, it's not that they're not good, but like, if we're going to say they're truly the new Alabama, then yeah, that's not good enough this year. That's unreal heights, and that's why I don't think we'll ever see a Bama like that. Georgia's going to be good.
Bama lost games and everything like that. They just didn't lose at the end of the season. They lost to Johnny Manziel's. They lost to Cam Newton's. They lost to it was really honestly only Johnny, for real.
Johnny was that guy though, so yeah, you can't even. Johnny and college are different. All right, we do got a break, but I just want a quick trivia here. This was the first time that Nebraska football finished the season since 2015 beating a ranked opponent. Who was that opponent? Good morning, Pierson-El. It's obvious. It's
Colorado?
Yep, Colorado. They finished 25, just barely. Barely.
I'm not. I was like, I'm not tripping.
Yeah, after the what was it, BYU game, I was a little nervous. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna get that one anymore. But they do hold on. Top 25 team. They finished at 25, just barely. Can you guess who was that team in 2015 that we ended up beating that was ranked, since you were a part of that roster?
That we beat that year. In 2015?
Yep, 2015. They finished 6th. So it was a good team in 2015. They finished 6th, but Nebraska actually beat them.
And they finished 6th in the nation?
Mm-hmm.
Michigan State.
Yeah, that's the one.
B. Riley had the touchdown. We beat him at home.
Yeah, was that the one where he like ran out in a bit? Yeah, that was iconic play. And that was the last time.
I'm thinking like, who was all good that year?
I know it was a weird year. It was that's why I want to bring that up. It's like, you're part of that roster, and I also forgot. I was like, man, Michigan State was all the way up there at number 6 that year.
That was a game right after I got hurt. So yeah, I was pissed.
Yeah, well, we won't get into that. We do got to go to break. Don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour. Like I said, the host is always the morning Pierson-El. Harrison Arns back to the Ticket Studio. Talk to you guys on the other side.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Husker fans, this season, Nebraska is celebrating 50 years of Husker women's basketball, and they need you to help celebrate. You've shown up for women's hoops from the start and continue to prove that Nebraska fans really are the best in the nation. On Sunday, January 26th, the Huskers face Big Ten opponent Ohio State, and they're calling on all Husker fans to help pack PBA so they can celebrate 50 years of Husker women's hoops together. Get your tickets now and be a part of this historic season. For event and ticket information, go to huskers.com/tickets.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Fierce Cheese Spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Fierce Cheese Spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fierce Cheese Spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most. For all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer, invites you to their annual sprayer clinic at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney on February 5th and 6th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere and Hagie sprayers, covering topics such as machine maintenance, spray tip selection, and exact apply technology. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation, see and spray, and variable rate operation. Don't miss this opportunity, February 5th and 6th in Kearney. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny and breezy. Cold this morning, but warming up to around 25 this afternoon. Tonight, a slight chance of snow, otherwise mainly cloudy and low near 21. And tomorrow, a chance of snow, otherwise mainly cloudy with the high near 37. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Second segment, Don't Punt Hour. The host is always DeMornay Pierson-El, streaming in. Harrison Arns back at the Ticket Studio on a cold Tuesday night. Maybe not as cold as Florida, though. Buddy just texted me. They're still getting snow, which is absolutely incredible. I think he's up to 5 inches, and I think it's supposed to keep snowing throughout the night there. So I'm not sure what that looks like in Florida, but I hope everyone's doing all right. I think it's supposed to freeze over the next morning, and I don't know how prepared Florida is to be driving on ice.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Not
I shouldn't be laughing. It's a horrible thing, but hopefully it's like you get to experience the snow and nothing bad happens. Like that's kind of, hopefully it cools off a little bit. And obviously don't want anything too crazy to happen down there. That is happening. Snow in Florida, I think in spots for the first time that we even know about. But moving on here, Husker Hoops, a bit of a cold spell themselves right now. They lost another one to Rutgers. 2 players really for Rutgers, just they carried the torch. You knew that's what it was going to be. 2 of Rutgers players contribute about like 45% of shots they take. And that's Bailey, Ace Bailey, and then why am I blanking on the other one right now? Ace Bailey, yeah, and Dylan Harper. Those 2 alone just kind of dismantled Nebraska, and it was one of those things at the end of the stretch there where you wonder if Nebraska's missing that a little bit. Like we have that in Bryce Williams, but he's not. He's a little bit harder to get himself open the same way that either of those guys are just twitchy downhill and get to the basket. I want to see this. It reminded me a little bit of Texas A&M, and it's a little bit unnerving because it just felt like their best athletes are going to go downhill and or kind of don't really have a whole lot of answers to stop them. If Braxton Mia is not in the game, then we're really in trouble.
It's 2 opportunities to make statements and to kind of pat your resume, and it's just missed opportunities. You were in both games were close. Bryce is a different type of athlete. He's not the slasher, get to the bucket, John Wall type of style, bucket getter. Can
He's
he
like-
do it?
He's like this, and again, this is, I'm not saying he is this, but style wise, like, it's unfair, a little bit like Kevin Durant-ish.
I would say more so like Carmelo Anthony.
That's a good one. I like that. Those
not-
mid-range spots, go find it. I'm gonna get to mine, and I'm just
He
gonna shoot over
gonna get it. He gonna get his spots. He's an energy type of player, and this is like Carmelo, not a Denver Carmelo. This is a Knicks Carmelo. You know what I mean? Like,
If this is the Denver Carmelo, then we're not talking about Bryce Williams the same way.
no,
that's a bad version of Williams.
So it's just a little bit different. Of like, do you wish you can have that, or somebody can develop to kind of have a Batman Robin type situation where you can kind of go off of two dudes? Yes, but that's not his game, and with things like that, you hope he just gets hot early and just kind of feed him and bring up the energy of everybody else. I feel like that's honestly one of the only things that you can probably do to kind of combat a team that's that's going downhill. That's, I don't want to say ISO work, but where their points are gonna where their points are gonna be coming from. They're athletic. They're gonna like to run. So you kind of got to get your stars involved a little bit more and rolling and whatnot.
Yeah, and man, the more we get into the season, the more I'm like, I miss Rink Mast. I think about how good Rink Mast and Andrew Morgan could have been together as a high and low game.
Mm-hmm.
That those two, it'd be fantastic. Andrew Morgan in our last loss actually had an excellent game himself. But we're kind of stuck. It feels like are we lacking a little bit too much offense? Then maybe we put Andrew Morgan in there, but then at the same time, now maybe are we lacking a little bit too much on defense? Because without Braxton Mia clogging the whole thing up in the middle, he's such a valuable deterrent to the rim, so that when you are playing a team like Maryland, it's great to have him in there. So you're kind of stuck. It's like, do you make a move and start Andrew Morgan, or do you keep the size with Braxton Mia? And we got to figure out a way to get offense without just swapping stars.
I think it's a team sport. I understand. The ball may go through one guy, but also consistently, you got four other starters, or you got a 6-man that comes off the bench. Can y'all get 10 to 16 points? That would be reasonable. What consistently, not just 8 here, 2 here. I think that's where we get into trouble. I think our top 7 guys, top 6 guys, if they can average roughly anywhere from 10 to 16 points consistently, the games that we're losing, I don't think we lose. Because the games that we're in, you might got 3 dudes that really go off, or 3 dudes that might have, somewhat decent stats, double digit in scoring, assist, or, whatever it may be or whatnot. You need, some of your other role player guys to step up and provide more than what they're giving, and we're not going to go too far if that doesn't start to happen. Y'all got to catch a rhythm and get your buckets when they count. If that's in transition, if that's in transition, if that's a defense off the ball, if that's inbounding, if that's fast break scores or whatever, figure out to kind of get your other role players involved to still 10 to 18 points a game, because we're not getting blown out.
No, I like that.
You know what I mean? It's 1 possession games. It's 2 possession. Free throw making here and there. So if you can make up that in 2 extra fast breaks, and if that's the shooter in the corner shooting 2 more threes and maybe getting a foul out of that, or he averaged a 4-point play every game or something like that, you kind of stealing points in the game.
Yeah, it's definitely one. And then another one, you fix the free throws. Another game for Nebraska, 54% from the free throw line, which is just kind of becoming more and more common as the season goes on. They're struggling, but 6 of 11, you hit 80. You do what you're supposed to. If you're a really good free throw shooting team, you make all of them, you win that game. There's a few games now where obviously if you're up, the situation plays out differently, but you're just in a much better spot. You're more likely to win these road games. Now, I wanted to read this text. Again, trying to think about this Husker offense. We're talking about Bryce Williams comparisons. This is another good one. DeRozan, not quite as athletic. I'd love to give Bryce Williams those hops, but DeRozan was a freak of nature athletically. But
I can see that.
The
he
shot
has
making.
he has the ability to turn over his shoulder and go. I can see DeRozan.
There's definitely elements of it, but why I like that comparison. DeRozan and with Chicago Bulls, like that thing took off when it was working, and the Bulls were actually in the Eastern Conference with a healthy, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso there at the time before he went to the Thunder, Lonzo Ball. You got Ayo Dosunmu from Illinois. And that team was rolling. And what happened was you get a point guard in there like Ball, who's really his identity is distribute, playmaking, and defense. But DeRozan was able to really operate well in those mid-range scenarios because the spacing got so much better. Because you had the three-point shooting working. You had guys with very specific roles. They knew what they wanted to do. And that opened up that middle of the court. You're seeing that with Bryce Williams. That middle of the court is clogged up because they see. And this isn't slight against these guys. Like, I think they all improve, but I think when they see Juwan Gary, Ulis, who's back in the mix, even Sam Hoiberg, they're shooters that aren't poising a big threat from three. Like, they'd rather live with Sam Hoiberg taking a three than giving Bryce Williams a matchup in the mid-range or going down.
They're not respecting it.
Yep, and it's making things tough for Bryce, trying to get his shots in, and then the other guys, I don't want to say just you need to make your threes, but that's kind of where we're going right now. If you want to roll through Bryce Williams, then you're going to have to make your threes.
I wouldn't. Yes, of course that. But again, even if you got to dribble 1 to 2 steps within the arc, if you're not a 3-point, a consistent twos adds up still, but you have to at least be a threat to score consistently. And I think when you get into some of those games like kind of we have. And if teams are gonna do it, focus on Bryce. Period. He's gonna catch everything. And if your shooter's on, okay, good for y'all. Y'all got us that night. If he's not on, where does the offense come in at?
Well, and that's why Keisei Tominaga was a phenomenal player. That guy was so good inside, finishing around the trees. And that's where when I look at Connor Season, he's got a really good foundation. If he just finds a floater or just a nice soft touch where he can, they're going to be crashing out to contest the 3-point shot. Like you said, it doesn't always have to be threes. Like a guy like him, whose offense struggles more inside, you use that to your advantage. Like if they're just going to crash out, you saw Casey punish teams for that constantly because he's good enough ball handling, good enough touch on the inside. You do a, kind of crazy closeout, he'd make you pay for it just about every time. Or even better, he'd kick out and find somebody else open for an even better look at three. That's kind of the part where it feels like Nebraska's missing. Like we have guys that are good team players, like they're playing good defense. Be a little more greedy on offense. Like go get yours. Like
attack the bucket, or at least give the threat of like, okay, I'm gonna do this again. Like I said, if you scoring 12 points, 14 points, teams gonna have to, all right, hey, this guy he's gonna get his. It's not really from the perimeter. He attacks the basket. At some point in time, you'll cause people to draw to you. You can float it up for a oop, or you can dish it and somebody else can give an easy two. You can't live and die by the three like that isn't gonna fly. Get your easy two, get your rhythm in and whatnot. Get to the basket and make your free throws.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I think that's where it's going to come from. It's going to be some guys because, like, Bryce Williams, you can only do so much. You can't expect him to, 30 points, high 20s every single game. Like, you're going to need other guys to step up. And it's just one of those where I think, if they're going to scout you, if Connor Season, hurt them with their own scouting. Make them pay. Like, understand what they're thinking of you and how they want to stop you. And when you understand that, then you can really start to put the counters in there. And that's, again, looking at a guy like Rink Mast, he knew what Purdue had dialed up for him. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go take Zach Edey down on the block for these first quarter over and over and over again and punish him because your scouting report says I'm not an answer today. And then he goes up and he's one of the best answers versus Purdue. We'll throw it to break here. We'll keep talking some more Husker sports here. So don't go anywhere. Dump Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El. Streaming in. Harrison Owens back to the studio. Talk to you in a bit.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Hey farmers, join Boyk Farm Outfitters at Precision Planning's Winter Conference happening January 22nd and 23rd at Innovation Campus in Lincoln. At Winter Conference, they'll cover topics like fertilizer inputs, weed management, spraying technologies, and priorities of the planter pass, to name a few. It's your chance to see new research that'll put you and your farm ahead of the curve, and it's free to attend. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, this event's for you. Visit BoykFarmOutfitters.com for all the details and to reserve your spot today.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800. Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, It's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. We're going to keep talking some more Husker sports here. This is the Don't Punt Hour. DeMornay Pierson-El wrapping things up here on the third and final segment. We talked about the men's side of Husker hoops. Let's talk about the women's side. A little bit greener over there right now. Certainly, after their road stretch, put this into perspective for everybody. So, obviously, the Husker women's team, promising coming into it. Obviously, Britt Prince, one of the younger players, very exciting. People are eager to see her. And they start the season off pretty strong. And then they get into the stretch, December 21st, on the road, Georgia Tech, on the road, UCLA, on the road, USC. Lose 1-2-3. Then they're back. They beat Penn State at home, Michigan State at home, Rutgers on the road, and then Iowa, the overtime win on the road. Britt Prince, step back three, cans it. Crazy stat. I don't want to misquote it, but it is the first time Nebraska beat the Hawkeyes on the road in a very long time. It's a tough place to win. And the way they won it in overtime fashion. But the momentum keeps going here, right? So then they just beat Wisconsin, and then they just beat him. They beat him by 31, 91-60. This women's team, DeMornay Pierson-El, like this, what is theirs starting to look like here as the season progresses? And it certainly looks like a tournament team. I think the question to me is, how much better do they get, and how far into the tournament is the ceiling for this team?
You know, they're, 15-4 right now?
Yeah, only the 4 losses.
How did they make it to the conference championship last year? The Big Ten championship?
I want to say they did right and lost to Iowa.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, yeah, they made it all the way
I
there.
mean, you have consistently built, scouted, and doing things the right way. Definitely a tournament team. They just got to keep momentum and everything like that. I think they're definitely finding their strides and kind of getting things together. They're getting in a groove. They're exciting. They're exciting to watch. They're handling business. And that's what you got to watch out for. They're a dominant factor in the Big Ten, and put them up against any other conference or whatnot. And I'm pretty sure that they can pretty much hang with it. They went tooth and nail with Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark has played in national championships. So we've seen what she did to the number 1 and number 2 teams in her careers or whatnot. And yet coaches reloaded the team to what it is and whatnot. So I think the ceiling is very high for this team to either get back to the Big Ten championship, win the Big Ten championship, or go deep into the tournament.
Yeah, it's and like last year, right? They got the win over Texas A&M in that opening round. And going on the men's side, man, lose to Texas A&M. Trev Alberts with the new AD for Texas A&M, but the women do beat them. I can't remember. Did they win 2 games or just the 1 game in the tournament?
They won the first game and lost the second.
That's right. So either way, though, but they got that win last year, and they could keep building off that. Like this team, to me, they look good. The Big Ten in particular looks really good, and like Iowa's not the same anymore. Don Staley, as long as she's coaching, like they're going to be a problem.
I mean, it's going to go through her.
Yeah.
There isn't many people. I think you just hope and pray that you catch South Carolina on a bad night. They're in a different league of their own.
And when you do get to March Madness, like they're not on your individual bracket, and even better yet, they're not even on your side. Like that's because they're just going to be, like I said, she's such a phenomenal coach. Like,
that's a buzzsaw.
It really is, and it's going to continue to be one. And the one thing I respect about Don Staley is like, not that he's just a great coach, but awesome with the media as well. That's why I love giving her flowers, because there's certain coaches that have a lot of success. I don't talk about them nearly as much because personality-wise, I'm never so sure. I'm like, is this about you or about the players? Don Staley, I can certainly say it. She does
it's about the players.
So again, it's great to see, not only just for Husker women's basketball, but I will say just women's sports in general. Between volleyball and basketball, it all seems to be on the way up. So it's a good time for Husker sports in particular to be good. And speaking of women's sport, I might as well shout it out. Jillian Martin won gold in Hong Kong with Team USA for bowling, and then she came back, immediately flew to San Francisco, then to Philly, Bolden, Delaware, And then they won gold for the Northeast Classic as well. So bowling also on a dominant run right now. That's going to wrap it up for us, though. This has been the Don't Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El. Appreciate it as always. We'll do it again tomorrow.